in the fall time. Apple. So we came out with this caramel apple pie. When you first taste it, you get the caramel, it smacks you right in the mouth.
It's sweet.
Caramel, very sweet. You get the apple on the back end. It's 70 proof, so it's not overly hot.
That apple, you could taste that apple in the back end when I sat there. It really was good.
What did you think of it? I didn't hear your thoughts.
It was good. I really enjoyed it. I'm actually going to get some apple cider today.
Oh yeah,
and put a couple shots in a glass of apple cider. I bet that's going to be really good.
That would be good. Yeah.
And that might even be one of them warm apple cider.
Oh yeah.
That might be a nice warm drink.
Yeah.
You can do that. And then
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
This son of a bitch always got ideas.
So on top of those, Chris, you've had some other releases here recently. Talk about those too.
Yep. Last month, our 2 releases were the cinnamon shine.
And if I'm not mistaken, you kept selling out of that, weren't you?
Yeah, we thought we had enough for about 2 weeks, and the first run sold out in about 24 hours. So,
wow, that's got to make you feel good, man.
Yeah. I mean,
what you tell us this morning? There was people lined at the door, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Because we
not hard to believe.
No, not at all.
The corn liquor, we've been teasing people with it for a while. So we kept telling them, hey, you got to wait for the festival. And then when we got ready to open up this morning, we had them lined up.
You had them waiting. Yeah. So you had the cinnamon that sold out well, and you had another one?
Yeah. It was cinnamon. I just went blank. What was the other one?
I know. What was the other one? The coffee.
Coffee shine. Yeah.
I'll be honest. It's my favorite one.
Coffee?
Uncle Joey will tell you, I do not like coffee. I do not drink coffee. I've never been a fan of coffee. I'm thinking about buying a jar of that before I leave because there's some experimenting I want to do with it. It would be good in a couple.
This guy and his experiments, I'm gonna tell you though, most of the time they work out.
I think
I'm always on the other end trying it.
I think a White Russian, that would be good in like a White Russian maybe.
Yeah.
It's Kahlua, vodka, and
that sounds terrible.
Cream. Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Like Kahlua.
Yeah. You could use that in place of your Kahlua.
Yeah.
What about an old fashioned?
I already said that.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things you can make up with that.
I want an Uncle Joey old fashioned.
All right, we'll get home and I'll make you one. So that's 4. So what are the total on flavors you're going to end up having?
Right now we have 10 flavors on the shelf. We're rolling out 2 more flavors next month. We're actually getting into the sipping cream. Sipping creams are kind of a big thing
right now.
Well, you've been talking about the sipping creams.
We're going to roll those out. We've been approved. The first 2 sipping creams are going to be a pecan praline, which is very good, very good, and then mocha mint. Which,
like a Girl Scout cookie.
Yeah. It makes a real neat sipping cream.
Wow.
And so
who doesn't like a Girl Scout cookie?
Ooh, who doesn't? Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
My diabetes, that's
so does it now those dropping will they only release a couple a month? How is that? Is this all per the state?
What we've been trying to do is release 1 or 2 a month just so we can stay on top of it, because like right now we're afraid we're going to sell out of the corn and the caramel apple.
It's selling out.
See, we were just discussing that when we got here. If did he think he was going to have enough for the weekend? And he said he hopes so. So you don't want to make too much, but at the same time you want to make sure you have enough to keep everybody in jars. So
I have a question. It just kind of hit me. Well, a statement and a question. Uncle Joey, I think you could attest to this. I've not been to one distillery like this that's bringing out this much product.
Oh, as many jars as you have? No, you've.
I've not been to one distillery yet that's bringing out as much and as quickly as you are.
Yeah, you seem to.
For the weird thing about, not weird thing, but the thing about any new flavors, the stuff that goes on in the background as far as getting all the license and approvals and all that. We've been working with the corn liquor. We've been working on that release for about 7 months now.
Okay.
Wow.
So really about a year ago, we started these different flavors, trying to get all the recipes approved, the labels approved, and all that. So
there's a lot of work in the background.
There is, oh my. If you and I, if we come up with a flavor right now, it'll be 8 months before it's on the
shelf.
Wow.
So
that's if it'll go on the shelf.
If it'll go on the shelf.
Because it's got to get approved. That's right.
Yeah.
It's
the question that I had is what is the greatest achievement? What bottle in your heart and that's been the best achievement for you thus far?
I still go back to the old Knockham stuff, man. That has the family recipe part of it. And that was our first one as far as 100 proof liquor. And that one's still near and dear to my heart. So
That and what you said, the blackberry, that seems to be the two that people come in a lot to get those 2 jars.
Our best seller. I mean, we sell more blackberry than anything.
And you know why? You know why?
Because it's delicious. So we've got this in front of us here, boys. We've all been sitting here and it's lingering, and let's
we got an empty glass.
I didn't get in.
Well,
this is bullcrap.
So Anthony, since you've already went ahead and done yours, why don't you go first while me and Chris are drinking ours?
Can we be honest? So how often do I actually do that?
No, it's usually this is me. I'm the one that does this. I'm always the one that gets yelled at.
Yes.
Hey guys, can I get another pour because I already drank mine?
And I'm getting on his ass about it too.
So this right here tells you, ladies and gentlemen, what Big Sturge thinks of the new corn liquor that Chris has got out here. Go ahead, Anthony. Tell us what you think of it.
Here's what I think. And I always say this: I think we should get shirts with our quotes on it. And mine would be, if it was in a candle, I'd burn it.
Yeah.
I say that about all whiskey and moonshine that I think smells delicious to my nose. If this was in a candle, I would burn it because it smells great. It's got its own unique profile. It's got its own identity, and it's even better when I drink it. It's super duper smooth. You guys said buttery popcorn. I get the buttery popcorn, but it's not really. I get a ear of sweet corn with butter on it.
Oh, cool.
It's very sweet. It's very juicy. It's very clean. And it is freaking delicious.
Trying to be good.
We're trying to be good here.
And I have to.
When Dylan comes tomorrow, there's no being good, but it's freaking delicious.
I'll back you up with that there, Dylan, or Dylan Anthony. You just said his name. Yeah, mute. The sweet and the earthiness of the Bloody Butcher and that Ohio Blue, it really balances that liquor out well. It's not too sweet. It's not too earthy. It's right down the middle. It's. I think a lot of you out there that like a good corn liquor will really enjoy that.
Austin.
This is whiskey on wheels. But I think the balance. We keep talking about the balance. That's got a really good balance, Chris. I feel like
aiming for. We're trying to get that balance between the 3 different types of corn. We wanted to have something different, just to have a little bit tweak to it. And I think the combination of the red, white, and blue.
So what is the combination? How did you, was it trial and error?
A little bit of trial and error, but again, I give a lot of credit to Farmer Vaughn at Schoolhouse Farms. Him and I were texting back and forth one night. I was like, hey, we got knock 'em stiff with the multi-grain recipe. I want to come out with just 100% corn recipe. And Farmer Vaughn was like, hey, have you ever thought about combining a couple of different strands of heirloom corn? And so we started kicking around, and he said, hey, do the Bloody Butcher combined with Silver King and the Ohio Blue. You have a red, white, and blue. We were hoping to get it out in time for July 4th this year, but of course, all the red tape.
Yeah.
So next year, we'll do a big thing on July 4th.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So it sounds like not only is Vaughn a corn grower, he kind of knows a little bit about what his corn will do as far as once you turn it into the mash and the product, like the flavors, and hey, this might go good with this. So
is he a partaker in moonshine?
He talks about getting a still out there.
Vaughn, do you partake in moonshine?
Do you partake in drinking?
Answer in the comments, Vaughn. Let's just say that. We'll tag you. Let you answer in the comments.
If you're listening,
tag Vaughn. We'll tag him at some point.
Farmer Vaughn has partaked of moonshine.
I'm pretty sure Farmer Vaughn likes his moonshine. He was real proud when me and the wife went up there to show me the products that his corn goes into. It's pretty neat. And it's not just Ohio. He's got, I think, some East Coast distilleries that a lot of.
He's just like 30,000 pounds.
Yes.
Ohio.
So he's on the map.
Oh yeah.
Vaughn's name. Yes. He's
I didn't know that.
And he's awesome, dude. To sit and talk with Vaughn, he's a really awesome, really genuine guy, man.
Like a 3rd or 4th generation farmer.
I believe so. And he's got a really cool thing up there. His little sunflower festival was really neat.
I think his family came from like a commercial popcorn background. And I think he still does a lot of commercial popcorn.
Let me tell you, his popcorn is amazing.
Is it?
Yeah, we bought some the mini yellow canary popcorn. It's really small. It doesn't have a big hull. Yeah. My wife tries to stay away from stuff. She's got
popcorn lingo. What the hell?
It is. Yeah, it's right on the back. Well, like popcorn. I've got diverticulitis, and shells and seeds are bad. So it's a small or very hulless popcorn, so it doesn't bother people with stomach conditions. So my wife,
you were a master on corn now.
Vaughn taught me this. Vaughn Davis, thank you very much.
Thanks for teaching me, Vaughn.
Well, it was only because we went to we went to a sunflower festival.
There you go.
All right, so
anyway,
can I shift gears for a second?
Actually, it's what's Chris talk about it? Let's Chris talk about what do you?
He's gonna say it's dog shit.
Well, no, I mean, so what's your background? Do you like bourbon? I mean, are you a bourbon drinker?
I like I love E.H. Taylor.
Okay.
Woodford, I like Woodford. So
when you drink like a corn liquor, so you're like us, you kind of taste the flavors and you get it on the palate. So what's your biggest, what corn do you feel like you taste the most of? That the sweet?
I'm getting sweet.
I think the sweet hits you the most. Yeah. Out of what we're drinking here, the sweet, and then you get that earthy in the back. Yeah. It's a nice flavor, man. It really is.
Bourbon, this would actually make a good base liquor to put in barrel.
It probably would.
I don't know what you mean by earthy. I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, I don't know what that flavor is.
Grainy, almost like a grainy, not sweet.
Yeah.
That kind of flat, dull flavor that you get. That's kind of earthy.
I get a dull flavor.
Yeah, that's kind of earthy. That's kind of the earthy they call.
That might be a stupid question. I just I want to understand what you guys mean by earthy.
Yeah.
I do get that, like, back in, down the throat kind of dullness.
Yeah.
I think that, right now we have Knockham stiff putting barrels for our bourbon coming out in a couple of years.
I can't wait.
I'm thinking maybe
this might not be a bad deal.
No, do a line of bourbon with Knockham stiff and a line of bourbon with Copper's Mountain.
I know who your first two customers will be at the door.
Yeah, I tell you what, American Whiskey will be here for that release. I promise you, because
my fat boy chair will be.
Yeah, and we'll probably bring all the boys with us for that one. We'll get the whole gang here for that one. Yeah.
So I do have one question, Uncle Joey.
Yes, sir.
I think our table's not big enough. I did write us notes here, and they were going to be for the both of us, but you're doing good without it. So, but I wanted to ask something kind of off script here.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I noticed how small this town is. I think we talked about on the way in how tight and small it is. Very, I would say old school.
It's a Mayberry.
Oh, it's Mayberry. Chris has always called this little Mayberry.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I had was, I think you said previously in our episode, a couple months back, that this was a dry county or a dry town.
Yeah.
And so you came in here, city council.
Yeah. Well, we put it on the ballot for the
people to vote on.
Yeah.
And was it very easily passed, or?
I tell you what, the people of Bainbridge came out and drove for us. We were nervous because this town's been dry for 40 years. And we were going to be able to make it here because we could do production, but for us to sell here at the storefront, we had to get to the town to
your tastings and things. Yes.
And so we went around and talked to as many of the locals as we could. Come election day, they came out 85% in our favor.
Wow, nice way to go, Bainbridge.
Bainbridge, really
way to support Chris. Yes, Bainbridge, you were awesome, man. We appreciate you.
That leads to my next question: is how accepting? Okay, so this is like a multiple question in one sentence.
Yeah.
So Bainbridge voted you in. Now, how supportive has Bainbridge been with your business as far as getting people? It's a small community, so when you get a Knockham stiff, someone might have it for 6 months.
Yeah.
But when you come out with like a new product, I mean, do you have regulars in the town that are coming in?
I mean, Kate will tell you. Friday evening, we got our group of guys to come through on Friday after work, and they get their favorite jar to take home. The fun thing about Bainbridge and the local people, they come out and support us. But what really makes you feel good is when they have family come from out of town. We're one of the first stops. They bring their family from, hey, my cousins are in from West Virginia or whatever. One of the first stops is they come by and show off the distillery. So we kind of want Bainbridge to feel like they own the distillery too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely, it's your distillery, but this distillery is part of this community.
It couldn't have happened without the community.
So the community is the reason this distillery exists. So of course you're going to pay as much tribute and welcome them as much as you can. Absolutely, Chris. And it seems to me a few times that I've been down here, the people are in and out. Everyone's friendly. You have your people you chat with, you talk with. So I feel like the community has accepted you. I know you guys are from outside. You're from Hillsboro, or
My wife and I have a farm outside of town here about 5 miles. My wife's family is actually from Bainbridge. Her great-great-grandfather came from Germany to Bainbridge, and he never left.
Nice.
So, Kate's family goes way back here. The building that we have, we didn't know it at the time, but when we bought the building, we found out afterwards that Kate's great-great-aunt built the building.
Oh, wow. Now, am I not mistaken? I'll bring up another moonshiner here, but isn't Lawrence Pritchard's family, or doesn't he have family from down this areas too?
As a matter of fact, some of his family come in here all the time.
Shout out Lawrence Pritchard, man.
Yeah,
we're down in your hometown. We've interviewed Lawrence. He's an awesome individual. He's got big things
going there too.
Yeah, that's another trip we're going to make. But I know he's talked about he's got family from this way, and this is originally where he kind of.
His cousin was in here last night.
That is awesome, man.
We're speaking about inside of the community, small community. Let's venture outside of this community. Let's venture around. As you know, this is a small town. It's not necessarily
like
the easiest
people here.
Yeah, it's not the easiest trip to go to. I mean, the back roads and all that stuff. But out of curiosity, how is your foot traffic with people outside of this community?
It's very our best attraction. We have 3 state parks within probably 10 miles. We have Rocky Fork Lake, we have Paint Creek Lake, we have Pike Lake. We get a ton of campers come in.
You know, you say that the last trip I made down here, me and you stood right over here and talked to a couple from, weren't they from no, they were they from New York or something?
Yeah.
We had a couple.
You're talking about when Dylan and I were here. We had random people coming here and buying shit from us.
Couple here from New York. They were all the way down here camping, and they bought jars, and they love this place, man. And they really like the camping in this area. They talked about how nice that the camping was in this. There was 2 or 3 different campsites that they really liked in this area. Yeah.
And what's really funny is because, you know, we get campers from Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, out of state. And then they'll come here and buy a few jars, take them back. And then we'll get called from bars and, hey, my daughter-in-law, 3 bars up in Columbus now that are wanting to carry our product because some of the people took it back and said, hey, try this out. And
that's pretty cool.
So speaking of that aspect of it, are you in any bars now?
No, we are. We've talked to a couple of bars, one in Chillicothe, one in Hillsboro. I think I've been talking to 3 in Columbus.
I think at Farm to Bottle Festival, you said that you had a few bars reach out to you and were interested in it too. So that's cool.
Right now, is keeping enough product on the shelf. So we're looking at expanding and adding a few more stills to meet that demand. So
Uncle Joey and I have been doing this together for a while. So he's asking questions that I've written down that he didn't even know. So that leads us into the next thing. Okay, so you say you're not in any bars right now, but you're in the works.
Yeah.
What do people have to do to go to their liquor store and get it?
They can, if they go to their liquor store and request it, what we have to, the liquor store is a little bit different. What we have to do there is I have to ship it to Columbus to the Ohio Department of Liquor Control, and then the liquor store has to requisition it from Columbus. So it's a little tougher for them because of the extra middleman involved. If it's a bar or a restaurant with a bar license, I can actually sell direct to them.
So you have that license. Tuck and Reds has that also. Yeah. They can sell direct.
Yeah. So
any bars out there listening, get a hold of him. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit of paperwork that I can do, and I can deliver whatever to them. So it's a little bit easier to get around.
This in your local bar, please.
Yeah. I think this would be, you guys these bars, and you could make some really good cocktails with some of these things. It could be some money makers with some of these, the flavored liquors, man. You could do well with some of these. You really could.
No doubt.
Well, Chris, I know the podcast loves coming here.
Yeah.
We love your product.
Anytime.
And we love everything you guys are about. You're about your community. You're about, the love that they've given you. And I know you want to just keep expanding and just giving back to the community.
Yeah.
And, it's awesome to see that, and
we have what we call the Angels Share Fund. What we want to do is, as we grow, we want to take 10% of our profit and set them aside for
that's awesome.
Local charities. So
that's awesome, Chris. More people need to do that. They absolutely do.
So as far as this festival, what is your favorite part of it?
Food. There's some fantastic food out here, man.
Well, I know when we're done with this podcast, me and the big man here, lunch is on me. So
I got a lot of live music. They've got music lined up, daylight to dark, all 3 days of the festival.
I'm finding the most expensive food place here. I'm just going
There's a whole line right behind us. There's a whole line of food trailers, man.
And I know the women are coming down tomorrow with us, and I see lots of craft.
A lot of arts and crafts.
This festival looks like it's got a little bit for everybody.
It's popping down here.
I saw some rides. I've seen crafts. I've seen food. And of course, you have this lovely place, Hilltop Distillery.
Hopefully, I'm big enough for the rides.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I'm big enough for one.
I still think you need to get the lady distillers on here.
Listen, Chris, you brought up a great idea for an episode that we have actually, and Anthony can say this, we've actually talked about this. So I think maybe after this episode, we'll talk with you some more and maybe sit down. Hey, listen. Would you mind coming back down here, Anthony, to do a podcast with the ladies?
Hell no.
So we're going to go ahead and say this is going to happen. So this definitely,
if they get freed up for a moment tomorrow or something.
Yeah, we'd love to get them on tomorrow even. Yes, there you go.
The boss said you're coming out to talk. So
all right. Well, please, everybody, if you get a chance, make the road trip, Bainbridge, Ohio, Fall Festival of the Leaves. Come check it out.
And there's all kinds of stuff to do. I mean, if you like eating, I mean, we all like eating. Just come on out. So,
yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis, I appreciate you hopping on here with us and
absolutely
talking product. It's always a pleasure to have you on here. We enjoy it every single time. You're one of our favorite guys.
Appreciate it, man.
And you've been super supportive of us, and we want to do the same for you. So
shout out. Listen, let's give her a shout out, Katie. Aaron,
the boss,
2 behind the scenes.
Katie, the 4-foot fury.
The 4-foot fury. So maybe
we all know.
Let's try to get both of them on tomorrow, and we'll let them do some talking. But
they need to.
That's awesome.
Well, go ahead.
Oh, they make more liquor than I do on a week-to-week basis.
So now we know the truth.
Yeah.
Well, I know when I came down, Chris had me trying to dump liquor in that little ass hole. Katie looked at me and she said, "Oh, honey." Pop them things on the side there and pull that cap off. I was like, you mean Chris has been having me up here trying to dump it in this little tiny hole? She said, yep. I don't do it that way.
He don't know what he's doing.
So
I wanted you to have the action.
Yeah. I see what you were doing.
Experience.
Yeah.
Gosh,
listen,
what we're doing was being a bully to my boy Uncle Joe.
But I will say this again. I've probably said this 20 times. I love that experience you gave me that day. I appreciate the both of you letting me come down. I had a lot of fun that day, and I'm sure it's going to happen again.
Yep, we'll get you involved in the fermentation part.
Oh yeah, yes.
All right. Well, you know what? I appreciate you having us come down here, and we look forward to the rest of the weekend. So
absolutely.
As always, guys, I'm Big Sturge,
and I'm Uncle Joey.
Chris Lewis.
We are
American Whiskey. Thanks, everybody.
Hilltop Distillery.
At Hilltop Distillery.
Deuces.